Hi, so today we're going to be looking at a sheep kidney. Right away, we can begin by identifying some of the exterior portion of the kidney. We have three notable pieces protruding out of the renal hilum. That's what we'd call this right here. That's where all of these enter. This flat, it's kind of hard to see because it is, there's quite a bit of connective tissue. There is a flatter portion here. These are blood vessels. So the flat, more ribbon-like piece, that one is gonna be your renal vein. And then if you can see here, right there, if it'll focus, right there we have, it's connected to the vein. That's going to be your renal artery. That also enters into the hilum. This right here, the biggest portion, that's the ureter. That's going to be what empties the urine out of the kidney. We're going to go ahead and open this up here. So once we open it up here, you can see right away that there is an outer light portion of the kidney and a inner and darker portion of the kidney. The outer portion is going to be the renal cortex. It's right here. The renal medulla, that is going to be the darker portion. Inside the renal medulla, we can begin to see a little bit of division here. You can see right here and right here. This is maybe kind of difficult to see on this one, I think, but this right here is the renal column. This divides the renal pyramids. So if you can see kind of a division there, that would be a renal pyramid. Again, between those, we have these kind of lighter portions, the renal columns. You can kind of see one here. This one's a little bit difficult to see, but we have one here and we have one here, and those are what divide the renal pyramids. At the bottom of the renal pyramids, that is going to be where our renal papilla are. You can also, unfortunately on this one, it's a little bit difficult to see. I'm going to try and show you kind of inside here. The papilla are down here, if you can see that at all. It's the very apex of the pyramids. So continuing to look at the renal cortex up here, that's mostly where all of the nephrons are going to be located, and we can kind of begin to see the collecting ducts. The urine is going to travel through those, and it's going to go into the renal pyramids. After the urine is collected up here in the collecting duct, it's going to travel through the renal pyramids down into the calyxes. It's going to collect there. You can kind of see down here, those would be in this area. If you have more than one pyramid emptying into a calyx, it's going to be a major calyx. Now, if you just have that one renal pyramid emptying into it, it's going to be a minor calyx. Once those empty into the minor and major calyxes, those are going to be received into here. This is going to be your renal pelvis. And that, if you can notice, is kind of a similar color to our ureter out here, and that's because it's going to drain from the renal pelvis into the ureter, and that would be how the urine would leave the kidney. The renal artery would be bringing blood from the abdominal aorta as oxygenated blood into the kidney. And again, that's going to be that, not the flat portion, but this right here. And then the flat portion is going to be your renal vein. The renal vein is taking the blood leaving the kidney, and it's going to bring it into the inferior vena cava. This outer portion is kind of like a, it's the renal capsule, and it is the outer portion. The kidney is surrounded by a renal capsule, and that's connective tissue that kind of keeps it all, everything together and contained into this shape. Once the urine is leaving through the ureter, remember it'll leave through the renal pelvis into the ureter, and that ureter is going to bring it all the way down to the urinary bladder. All right, so that should conclude our sheep kidney dissection. So thank you.